Hey guys, I'm back with the second in our WordPress theming series. Now, a couple of things I should mention from way off. Our last video was just over an hour and 10 minutes, so be prepared for a long video. But some of you guys wanted extensive theming coverage, so that's what I'm doing. Just a quick recap, we're building the WordPress theme for my use on my personal site, but giving you tips along the way, so you're seeing the curtains of how I work, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I should also note that this is the third night. That was a separate video, and it's going to be uploaded a couple of weeks in advance of this one probably, but for me it's the same night. So we're just going to dive in, and this is where we landed the last time we did. So we've got all our posts on navigation up and clicking here, and we this was the kind of theme directory we landed with. We've got our we're working on our index page at the moment, getting our river of posts sorted, and we've talked about includes. Like I said, I'm not going to be rehashing anything that I talked about in this tutorial because I talked for long enough last time. I'm just going to carry on from where we left off, but be prepared for a similar amount of time for this video. So get comfortable. We're going to add some more information for our posts you normally find on a blog. So there was something I wanted to do on the header page that I thought of while I was getting ready for this. We're gonna turn our H1 tag into a link. Gonna have a href equal to PHP blog info URL. I talked about blog info last time, but what it essentially is it's a command to access data about your WordPress blog. So it's going to find out what the URL is dynamically for the user's installation and put it in there. So we're not going to hard code it. And I've actually got that the wrong way around. The anchor link should be inside of the H1 tag. We're gonna put that in there. But remember, we need to close out everything we open, so just gonna put the closing elements there. So what we're doing here is making sure that our homepage always, the title of our page always links to the homepage, no matter where we are. That's the point of using the URL function, not just hard coding the thing of our homepage. we're just gonna close out the link tag. And we're gonna refresh, and we see we've got a link there now. And if you look down at the bottom, it points to the root of my web page or my website. So that is exactly what we wanted. That's what you want a home link to do, to take people back home. So I'm not sure which way we go next. You know, this is a bit of watch me work series where I just go through it and explain it while I'm going. So I think what we're gonna do next is create a sidebar.php file, and surprise, surprise, we're gonna include that on all our pages like we have with the header and footer file. So we're just gonna create sidebar.php, and the sidebar is just a piece of content that we're gonna include on other pages. It's not a piece of content in and of itself. So we're just gonna use the get sidebar function to include it on other pages. For that reason, we just need to jump straight into the sidebar HTML. I'm going to create a div. Oh no, actually we're not. We're going to create a side new HTML element. There's no point using a HTML5 if you're going to utilize it. We're going to close out our side. We're going to discuss what we put in here later, but for now it's just there. So that is also going to get put on every page and should get put in after our main content. So if we look in, oh no it won't, because we haven't written the get sidebar function yet, duh. So we're just going to go back into our index PHP file, and right by where the footer include is, we're going to put, well, we're going to copy that. But only instead of get footer, get sidebar. So we've now got a sidebar that we can include in all our pages. So now if we go ahead and refresh, inside of the body tag, because that aside's been put in after everything else, because it's low down in our file. I've just noticed some issues with some paragraph tags screwing up, so we're gonna look. Oh, I don't think you need a paragraph tag on the excerpt, because it generates one on its own. Just gonna refresh. and we've got that sorted now, so that's nice. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start thinking like the single.php file, and the single.php file is what you want to display anytime any post is accessed on its own. So what we're writing now is what's gonna happen when a user clicks on one of these links and wants to access our page. Right now, it just is gonna go weird because we're using the same it's default to using an index.php file as the display for single post, because that's all that's there. And remember, you only need an index.php file. But we want to create our own file to say, no, on the post that only have that post on them, we don't want to show the excerpt. We want to show the full content, because that's what they're there for. So it's largely the same, because so we're just going to duplicate that file. And we're going to call it single, as in single post.php. So we already learned about this. Instead of the excerpt, what we're going to put is the content. Again, that's in the links I took that in part 1. That's provided down below. So if we save that, we see that if we now refresh, shows us the entire content of that article. That's the point of using a single.php file, because it allows us to put separate stuff on single pages for single posts, rather than what was just put on the home page. So if we go back to our index, this is the result of the excerpt, and that's what we want on the home page. But this is the result of saying the content. So it's good that we've got a separate thing displaying there. One thing I've noticed that's wrong is we've now got no navigation between posts, because on the home page we wanted the next page of posts, but on a single post page we only want the next post that's after that post. We don't need a whole nother page of posts. So in order to get those, we're just going to change it to previous post link and next post link. If we refresh there, we've now got a link to the previous post. I'm not sure why it's not. Now it's showing linked to the next post. We can navigate between the posts that way, but we've still got our page navigation there because they're handled with different template files. Now is a good time for me to say I'm not going to use all the template files, because they're not needed for all. They're not needed for this theme, and this is my my template thing, remember, but they're all available in the WordPress documentation, which I showed you in part 1. So now we're going to deal with what happens when we click on a page, and a page and a post are two different things in WordPress. Posts appear in our RSS feed. Pages are going to display in our navigation because we've asked for a list of pages to show up as our nav. So in order to do that, we're just going to, by default, if you don't put this in, it's going to put to the page.php file as the index.php file. So just like I showed you with the single.php file, it's a good idea to have a page.php file. We're just going to go ahead and duplicate. And instead of that, what we actually need to call it is page.php. Now, what's unique about that? Well, first of all, we don't need the next post and previous post, because pages, unlike blog posts, aren't chronological, so we won't need them. So right now, if we look at a page, it's using the post PHP template because we've not set up a page template yet. But if we take out those links, because we don't need them on individual pages, they're now no longer there, as we don't want them to be. But the beauty is that if we go onto one of our posts, they're still there. So we've targeted those two things independently. Go us, and that's often all I need for the page.php file, because a page isn't a often thing where you need a lot of customization to the content. So we can leave that alone. I think that's pretty much all the files we're going to get into. There's a couple of extra ones, but I'll talk about those as and when they arise. An important thing that's missing from our index is any information about when the page was, who the page was by, who the post was by, when it was created, or when it was filed. So we need to start adding some of that content. I'm going to put it in paragraph tags because it's not that important to search engines, so we should put it in a tag that reflects that. And I believe you can use another template tag that says get post meta. save that over there and refresh. We customize the home page, so we're going to refresh that home, and nothing shows up, so we're going to try refreshing.
It's 22 hours.
Try saving that again. Nothing. I must have got the tag wrong, so we're gonna go to our ever useful functions directory. We're gonna use our ever useful find function. I'm gonna search from excuse the awkward cut there. I'm actually recording again, and I'm gonna switch the two recordings together because I was interrupted momentarily there. You can see I've actually put the author in our post, and that is actually the correct answer. There isn't one for spitting out all the data. You get the data independently, and this particular account is just known as test, so that's all it does. So, but it'll grab your content independently. One other thing we should probably have this on the well, first of all, before we go copying it, we're gonna check that the author function doesn't generate its own paragraph tag, because we've already put paragraph tag, and as we explored before, there's no point having so no, it doesn't generate its own paragraph tags. So what we've written is fine. So we're just gonna copy this and put it on our single .php file. You can get more metadata, like the date things were published, and we will do it in future, because remember, this is for my personal site. It's not just a demonstration. So we will do that in the future, but we're just gonna leave that there for now. The fact that I've just had to copy the author into two places is a testament to the fact that you shouldn't split off template files too early, because then if you need to update one thing, it's gonna affect. You're gonna have to go into all the files where that is and change it. So I think the next thing we're gonna do is print out the comments, because the comments are a pretty essential part of a blog. So of course that's gonna be on a single .php file, because we want it to be there. So it's going to be within our loop. We're just going to put PHP the comments. And see if we have any joy with that. We refresh, go into a post, and we've got no comments, so I obviously got the comment function wrong. So we're going to go back to our handy function references. You see how useful these things are. So we're going to go back up to our post. I'm going to try and find the place where you get the comments for that post. Perhaps it's in the users. Oh, there's a dedicated comments area. I didn't see that. So we should be able to say get comments and on the same line I'm going to put the comments form so people can post comments. Now, I want to bring up first that this is taken from my personal. The data for this is taken from my personal site because obviously we're developing this as a personal site. So there might be some pretty harrowing comments from users come up on here because there's a lot of spam on my blog, but we're just going to see what happens, and nothing did happen, so we're just going to work out what went wrong. Try saving it again. And it doesn't want to work. Maybe I have to do that outside the loop. Generally, and this is a good tip I've found, everything that starts with the is inside the loop, and everything that starts with get is generally outside the loop. I'm going to migrate that to its own little section down here. And we should now hopefully have some comments show up. Again, please accept my warning about some of the comments. You never know what people post. So it would appear not to have worked. We're going to go back to function references. Excuse that, guys. It's comment form, not. We're going to do comments separately. You actually do a separate, or you can do a separate file for comments.php, and then include it in. But let's see if that at least showed us the comment form. And it doesn't look like it did. So we're going to go over refresh, and now it shows the comment form. It's all garbled because of the styling, but this is the logged in view, and this is the logged out view that my user will see. See, I may have seen this in several other places, and we've just given users the ability to post comments. Now, we're not gonna print out the comments just now, or actually, yeah, we will. We're gonna create a div. For now, we're just gonna put a div of ID. comments, but we're just gonna leave it for now because we may not end up even using that. What we're gonna do now is muscle the styling shape a bit. So I've got some styles here that I used for another project. And it would be perfect for this one. Some text styles. I'm going to open that CSS file. Obviously, this got different styles than what we're going to use, but we're going to start with the same foundation because it's good. I've used it before and it makes web page look a lot better. So just gonna go over. We're gonna come back to style.css file. I'm gonna paste that in there. It's always a good idea to put your reset at the start. We're gonna say that we should see some pretty markable improvement in what it looks like. So we've got some more padding, things like that. Links are all a unified colour. Again, that's just my custom CSS, but I've used it on some previous projects and it works fine. So I'm going to go back to my CSS file actually. I'm going to copy some text styles. Paste them in there. And it's a little more separated out. There. So one thing I'm going to do, which I haven't done previously is add some padding to the wrapper because it's a bit close to the edge for my liking. Just give ourselves a bit more breathing room. What should we do now? Let's put I'm just going to start targeting I'm going to start styling the main navigation. So I'm going to say inside the div with an ID menu, which was generated by WordPress. I'm going to look at anchor links inside them. Oh no, actually, first we're going to look at the menu ULLI. Make them display inline. And we're going to give them a bit of padding each 3 pixels. I'm going to make the menu bar itself.
It's 20 to 30.
Have a background. Of EEEDDD. Let's see how we get here. So we've not got anywhere. Let's see what I did wrong. Go to the source code. So that prints out a div of class of menu, not ID of menu. And you target a class differently than ID. So we're just going to say a div of class menu. Okay, we're going to add some negative margin to counteract the margin we've already set on the wrapper. So how many pixels will be set on the wrapper? We'll set padding of 10 pixels. So we're going to set margin top and bottom of 0 unchanged. And the left and right is going to be -10 to get rid of that 10 we added for the navigation bar. And that's nice and touching now. That looks good. So this screencast is once again getting a bit long, so I think we're gonna cut it there, and I'll visit my website just down below. If you want kind of more advice, more tech articles, subscribe to like this video for future general incarnations of this series, and also you can stay updated for the next video in the series over there. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you in that next one.